This isn't necessarily the average knowledge share because I'm not going to enlighten you on something that I'm an expert on or that I have strong opinions on, but rather attempt to share with you all my experience with a topic super close to home, extremely sensitive, and very important to me. My dad worked for Cantor Fitzgerald my entire life growing up. I visited the towers regularly for Take Your Daughter to Work Day and for Christmas celebrations. For 5 years in a row, I won the most cookies sold for my Girl Scout cookie group by bringing my sales to the trade floor. At a Giants playoff game last year, George Morell introduced himself to the legendary halfback Frank Gifford without knowing who he was. Even when Mr. Gifford said his own name, Mr. Morell still did not know. When his friends ribbed him, Mr. Morell replied, "Well, he didn't know who I was either." Mr. Morell, 47, a bond broker at Cantor Fitzgerald, was the kind of man who shook hands with strangers and made them his friends. When my mom pulled around the parking lot with my sister in the car as well, we kind of knew something was up. We got in the car and asked her what was going on because she was crying, and she was in the car with my cousin, my dad's cousin, my aunt. And she said that Dad had called and he said there was a bomb and he doesn't know if he'll make it home for dinner tonight. He said he loved us all. And we went home to wait to hear news. In the attacks was also his best friend. Was his best friend who he grew up with, who was basically like my uncle. I'm going to read the eulogy which I wrote when I was 11 years old. I know that everyone has their own memories of my father, but I wanted to share mine. My dad was a rare kind of a man. He knew everything and everyone. He had more stories than you have time to learn one. He had the corniest jokes, but in a way, they were the funniest jokes ever. He had a heart bigger than the whole country. I never knew how small the world is, but on one vacation, we took a hike and found a ruin, and it was given to the island by his sergeant from military school. Now, I don't know how I'm going to let him go, but I know that he did everything in life he wanted to, and is now in heaven with his parents, watching over my family and relatives and everyone who came to support us. And he may have left us visually, but not spiritually. And I'll always love him, and he will help me through all challenges in life. I don't think it is the national tragedy that shaped me into who I am today, but it was who my father was as a person: compassionate, loving, generous, and all-around people person. So even though I was only 11 when he passed away, he still had a huge impact on making me the person I am today. Many of my dad's friends tell me that I share a striking amount in common with him in personality, heart, and looks. And it is one of the best compliments I can get, because I like to think that I too collect friends.